Hey guys, welcome back to the shop for another week of SNS. So I've had quite a bit going on this week. I've been doing a little bit of traveling, and this past Wednesday I was able to go back up to Birmingham and shoot a little bit more video with my company Motion Industries with Tom. You know, he's got some series of videos there for the Motion Industries YouTube channel, and they invited me back up there to do another video with Tom. So I got to do that, and I enjoyed that. It was a fun experience, and you know, it's always fun to be able to get out of the shop for a day and do something out of the normal. So that was pretty cool. So that's going to be a video that's on Motion's YouTube channel, and I'll be sure to share that with everybody whenever they have that ready to publish and it's out on their website. Okay, but I really enjoyed that. So the following day I actually had a free day to kind of do what I please, and while I was there I always wanted to visit Sloss Furnace. It's up in Birmingham, and I watched that. It was an episode a long time ago on Ghost Adventures where they actually went to Sloss Furnace and filmed there, and that's when I first found out about that place. You know, so it's always intrigued me and always wanted to go there. So I finally got to go there for myself and visit it, and I had a great time. It's truly an amazing place to go and see, and I would encourage anybody that has interest in industrial art and seeing places that were born from the Industrial Revolution to go and visit this place. You know, it's fascinating to me, and I got a video on that, and it's going to be coming out after SNS, and I encourage all you guys to check that out. I spent a lot of time putting that video together, and I had a lot of fun doing it, and I tried to have fun with that video. But I tell you, man, I had a great time visiting that place. Took a lot of pictures, a lot of video, and I tried to make a really nice video for that. It's going to be a little bit longer running video than normal, about 40 minutes or so, but it takes a while to get through that place, and it's some really cool stuff there to see. You know, they have the old steam engines there. They have some more of the late model Ingersoll Rand turbo blowers, they call them, and just every place in there is fascinating to me. They had the old stock tunnel that's kind of a real creepy place with water falling down and stuff, and I just really enjoyed it. I can't tell you how much I really enjoyed that. And I was by myself. Abby wasn't able to go on this trip. She had other things that she was having to do, so I was by myself, but she really missed out, and we plan to go back and see it again when we can, when we're in Birmingham, so that Abby can check it out for herself. But anyway, be on the lookout for that video, and really looking forward to sharing that with you. Okay, so for the machining content this week, I got a really big mix-up for you. There's going to be a lot of different things going on. Show a little bit more of the G&E shaper. I replaced some screws on it, and then we did some more practice cuts, so I got that in there for you. I've got several different jobs from my day job at Motion, some different things that we've been working on, some cylinder work, just a good mix-up. And I also do a follow-up on that very large gearbox that the last time I showed it is whenever it was on its side and had the big hollow bore gear in it and the vertical output shafts, or input shafts, I mean. So I did a follow-up on that, and my coworker Brett, I asked him to kind of explain what the gearbox is used for, because that's one of the things that everybody's always interested in, is what it's for. So I had Brett try to explain what that gearbox is used for. Okay, so that's going to be the extent of the content for this week, and I think I got a good video for you. So I do have one gift that I'd like to share with you that I got this week. This is a book, a very old book called Machine Tool Operation Part 2, and this was sent in by Arthur Nelson. He's from Las Vegas, Nevada, and very nice book that he found right there. And I'm going to move the camera down and show you one of the reasons why he sent this book to me, because it does have a section on it, a section in the book on shapers. So let me share that with you, and then after that we're going to go ahead and jump over to our content this week. So here's our book from Arthur Nelson, and we'll go in here and check out what it's all about. Machine tool operation. This is a part 2. So obviously there's a part 1. We got milling machine, shaper, and planer. Milling machine, grinding machine, hydraulic power transmission, spur gears, and bevel gears. Very cool, man. And this one. So it says copyright 1922, 1937 by the McGraw-Hill Book Company. And this one was printed in 1947. Okay, lots of good stuff in this book. One of our favorite classic type books. But we're going to go ahead and jump to the section on the shaper. And look at that. And can you tell what kind of shaper that is? That's the same shaper that I have here. That's a G&E shaper, except this is your regular tool room style, you know, the straight table. So very good section in this book on the shaper and on the planer. And it does have some other machinery that they share in here as well. But it does a really good job of explaining how the shapers work. This is some of the stuff I've shared with you before. The crank, your rotation there on the crank and the bowl gear. So a lot of good stuff. It goes into the toolings as well. So I'm going to enjoy going through this book and reading it. Always fun to see the pictures in it. And it even had the original, you know, what looks to be a library card where they punched it out, got the dates on it, and he had put right in there on the shaper section. So Arthur, thank you very much for the book. I'm going to enjoy having this, and I'm going to go start reading through it. It's got some good info, especially on the tooling and, you know, setting up the proper feeds and speeds. Well, come on into the camera over here. I'm just out here trying to...
oh, I have to be on the camera?
You have to be on the camera. They probably would like to see it. So, I'm out here cutting felt, and Abby received a gift today. You received a gift from...
I like gifts.
From Kevin Alexander over
Okay.
in Texas. And he wrote you a letter.
This is crazy cool. I'm sorry. I know that I'm supposed to be reading this, but it's a long letter and I just want to read it myself.
Okay. That's
Okay.
fine.
That's awesome. Okay.
Well, there it is.
I've never really had anything quite like this. So.
He says, cap not glued.
Oh, wait. Open this end. I can read. I can read. Ooh.
Wow, look at that.
Wow. Okay, I am in love with this already. Look at that. What? Okay, that is fantastic. Look at that.
Nice job, Kevin. I'm
Yeah.
impressed. A copper rose.
Very impressed.
Hey, you did a very nice
I
job
have
on that.
the perfect place for this.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's not going to be where you're going to be.
Well, it's a gift for you, so you can put it wherever you want.
Okay, good. It's going to be on my vanity then with my makeup. My multiple makeup. This is amazing.
Yeah.
This is so beautiful.
Thanks, Kevin.
Thank you so much, Kevin.
That's a nice gift. Thank you very much. Thanks for thinking of Abby. And
Yes.
And I would have to agree. I'm very glad that I met her, and she's been
Thanks, babe.
she's been a very wonderful person to be in my life.
Well, I have had fun. Everyone you know is wonderful, so
Yep.
I feel very lucky.
Good group of guys
Also,
out there.
you're wonderful, but
Oh, thank you.
this is beautiful, Kevin. Thank you so much. I will truly, truly treasure it. That is amazing.
So for this job, I have a base plate off of a pneumatic cylinder, and the mounting lugs on it have been severely worn and they need to be replaced. So what I'm doing is I'm setting it up in the bandsaw in the Kalamazoo. I got a plate that I made that's got some tapped holes, and what I can do is clamp that plate in the vise and then use some standard hold downs to hold plates like that to easily cut them off. After you bandsaw cut those ears off, you can just set you up in the 4-jaw chuck, face the rest of it off there. All right, so after we machine the rest of the ears off there, we got her set up here to weld it. We got it centered, and just use a combination square to square it up and both center it both ways. Got her clamped down, and we'll get her welded in. Alright, we got her welded in. I used the flux core or dual shield on the Millimatic 251. Always does a good job. Flux just comes right on off. Okay. Let that cool, and we'll set it up and get it drilled and reamed. Yeah, you guys ever use the top of your V-blocks to hold stuff on? These sometimes work out good for jobs like this. So we're going to do our drilling and reaming right here in the board mill. I like it here because it's a bigger machine, and it's just much easier than setting it up in the vertical mill. So the whole center, it's centered this way, okay, and then it's 1.5 inches from this face there. And just a real simple way that I do it, I've got a piece of 1-inch bar stock right there. I bring it down till it rubs, and then bring it up half the distance, which would be 1 inch. Okay, so then we got to drill it and ream it for 1 inch as well. First thing I did was center drill it. I'm gonna run in here with a smaller pilot drill. I always like the pilot with a smaller drill. This is the power feed. So you pull it out to disengage, push it into engage. I do that to try to break the chip some. Sometimes I'm not fast enough. When we come through the other side, just start it real easy. I'm not power feeding, I'm just applying just a little pressure on the quill handle. Let it self-center, and then let the hole start. Using a 31/30 taper sink drill bit. After drilling that, it should give us 25 to 30 thousandths to ream the hole. We got our 1-inch reamer, lowered our speed, kicked up our feed. Gonna let that run through there. Good idea to keep your reamer oiled or lubricated. good looking holes. All we've got to do is just do some deburring and that'll be ready. You already drop them in?
Don't cover it up. Hey,
They gonna hold?
no, we're in trouble.
You want me to move them wedges so that we can rotate that thing?
That's good. We can if the paint
Just that one wedge is holding it.
You want me to move it?
You can. We'll try.
Roll it just a little bit. They're still pretty.
A little bit more.
There you go.
There you go. All right, I got that wedge on that side there. Are they tight yet?
Yeah.
Let me see. Okay, yeah. All right, so I did good on my measurements then. They shrunk down and then they grew. They're tight in the hole. All right. So all we got left here is to install the pins, and that's the
Ship it set.
that's the mounting plate that goes here on the bottom, and then you have that one right here that goes on the top side, the top eye there. And that's all we got left is to install those, and this telescope will be done. You see me do the welding on the tubes for this, and then we had to do a little bit of the bronze work on this. That one's about ready to go. These are for truck dumps at usually like paper mills, wood mills, things like that. All right, we got the new pin installed and the mounting plate mounted in there, and everything fit good. It was a really good close fit on them bushings there. Worked out really well. So this one is now 100% done and ready to ship out of here. Well, I finally got my button head screws in from McMaster Car. I finally placed the order anyway. So these are the screws that are going to replace the slotted head screws here for the wiper holders. That's one of them right there. And I ordered 3 different lengths. They come in boxes of 50 for this particular size right there, but it was like $5 a box, maybe something like that. So I'm going to go ahead and replace all these and spiffy this up just a little bit more. But the other 2 sizes were for the other wipers whenever I get to those, and also the way wipers up on the ram. All right, out with the old and in with these. I did try to find the slotted screws, but they did not offer those at McMaster Car, so I just got these instead. Perfect. I adjusted the grind on that tool bit there. I gave it some more side rake, I gave it back rake, and a little bit more side clearance underneath the cutting edge. And this is still a 1/8 depth of cut that I was going across earlier, so just going to see how the tool reacts.
doing better than it did last time. I increased the strokes per minute up to 34. See how it looks. I think that's still under what we should be at though. This is going to be the bronze bushing for the new hydraulic rod that I made. Machined the eye and welded on. This is going to be the bushing that gets pressed into there. Facing it to clean up, then we'll bore it, turn it, part it off. What we're going to do here is create a little groove. This is for grease. Use the round nose tool. Just feed in by hand. Go about 100 thousandths deep. It's not critical. It's just a groove for grease. I'm going to move it to each side to widen it out. I'm watching the digital readout. I'm just going to go 100 thousandths to each side of the zero. Alright. And then I've got one on the inside that I used the boring bar to do that. Alright, we're going to use my stick to catch that thing.
So once we get them both machined, I'll bring it over here to the mill, and we got to put a couple holes through the groove here to allow the oil, not the oil, but the grease to transfer to the center of it. So I have 2 that I'm doing, and what I do is I set up a stop, and once I set the stop up, I'll find the center. That way I can just throw the other one in there, and then you could easily rotate this 180 degrees and do the other side. Now the location of the holes aren't that critical because it's just for grease to come through. So we'll do one. Alright, once we do one hole, I'm just going to rotate it 180 degrees, and just by sight. It's not that critical. And I got that hole in the bottom there, pushed over against the stop. Looks good. Alright, we're going to go ahead and do it. So here's the second bushing. Made it for the new rod and eye here. And here's something I point out. On the very end of that, I usually turn just a little step, just a few thou undersize, just to help start the bushing. I'll try to show you this, but I can't really do it one-handed. There it goes. So that allows you to start a bushing nice and straight. And that's just what it'll do. It'll go in there nice and straight. So we'll make sure that the holes are nice and aligned front to bottom there, and then we'll go press it in. Alright, so that's all for this one. That's a grapple cylinder. We got our new bushing on that end, and then we got our new rod. So this one is ready to build. It does need to be cleaned and hung though, but the machine work is done anyway. I had some guys asking about these blocks on that other one that I was building, and what this is, you have one hose is going to go there, and that's to put oil on that end of the piston to retract it. Your other hose is going to go here, but what you have on the end there is a counterbalance valve. That's what goes in right here and screws in, and that is a safety precaution in case this thing loses pressure on one of the lines. It will actually hold pressure so that it will not release its load, because these are used for picking up trees. So that's what that is. I had thoughts about maybe talking about this on how these work with Paul a little more depth, if maybe you guys are interested in that, and we can see about doing a shop talk on that. The guys got the big gearbox finished up, and it looks great, beautiful. It looks like something brand factory new. And you can see it's a Falk, and this is a custom gearbox made to order, and it looked good.
Correct.
Yes.
So what does this gearbox do? What is it used for? Everybody wants to know, where does this go and what is it used for?
On a tissue machine, this drives the last roll on the machine. They actually pump hot steam inside the roll, and as the tissue paper goes over this roll, it makes the water evaporate, basically drying it right before they cut it up in little bitty rolls.
Okay.
It's a huge roll of paper, but
Right.
anyway,
So this is like a shaft mount.
it's a shaft mount. It mounts on the actual shaft of the dryer drum, and this gearbox drives it.
Okay. Do you know what kind of power runs this?
It
You know,
has two 400 horsepower motors
Wow.
that drive it.
so
Yeah.
800 horsepower total on the
Yes.
inputs, and that's back here on these, right?
Yeah.
Your electric motors are gonna run these shafts here.
They mount side by side.
Okay. Well, there you go. That's what that box does. It helps make toilet tissue or tissue paper in general. It looks good. They did a good job on the build on this one here.